Hello and welcome to Lore of the Cards, the series that helps you find the lore hidden in your Hearthstone deck, as we move on to this, our third lore review of the Boomsday project expansion cards. Let's not waste any more time and get straight to it. Faithful Lumi may be a common card, but it was heavily involved in the second lab log to come out of Boom Labs. Dr. Boom fires up this little guy to check up on a few of his head scientists. This cute little fella visited Kangor, who removed the control unit from Lumi and fitted the tiny mech with an upgrade and an auto defense matrix, because he knew where the mech was going next. The mech then visited Flark and his matrix almost immediately came in handy, Flark tricking the robot into holding explosive materials. Lumi would finally visit Myra, gathering information from her to relay back to Dr. Boom. The Priest common card Dead Ringer is a Boomsday project original. Unlike any of the mechs currently in World of Warcraft, the only Dead Ringer in WoW is actually coming in the upcoming expansion Battle for Azeroth. It is a toy sold by Sister Liliana when players become revered with the Culturacian faction Storm's Wake. The toy is said to cool the souls of the deceased. The Warlock's Omega Agent looks more like it'd be at home in a rogue deck. Factions based around the rogue class in WoW frequently have an agent feel to them, groups that operate in the shadows often for the good of Azeroth, or their faction. SI7 is Stormwind's very own secret service. Seasoned rogues specialised in espionage, assassination and stealth tactics, all in the name of the Alliance. The most recent expansion, Legion, brought the Uncrowned into the spotlight, an organisation of rogues that have overseen the death of kings and the fall of empires during Azeroth's rich history. There is one secretive society that does come in mind when thinking of Warlocks though, Gul'dan's very own Shadow Council. The council helped oversee the demonic corruption of the Horde at the hands of the Burning Legion on their homeworld of Draenor. While the Horde was led by Warchief Blackhand on the surface, it was in fact the Shadow Council that held the power. Gul'dan held on to this power by any means necessary, and sometimes that meant assassinating his enemies. The Grand Warlock would never get his own hands dirty though. The ensorcelled Orc Draenei mongrel Garona would do that for her master. Sure, she wasn't a goblin, but this does show Warlocks, especially Gul'dan, can be closely tied to the act of assassination, something the Omega Agent looks to be very good at. The Reckless Experimenter isn't in WoW, but it is apt that a Forsaken represents this card. When it comes to the Forsaken and science, they certainly don't care much for the repercussions. Both Undead under the Lich King and Sylvanas have experimented with plague gases, killing the living in agonising ways. Gas isn't exactly a method of focused attack either. Embalming liquids have been used by undead to create abominations, body parts seemingly haphazardly stitched together to create a beast of phenomenal strength but minimal intellect. Annoy one and you have an uncontrollable flesh golem rampaging around with the strength of 10 men. Luckily for them, the Forsaken don't need to worry too much about reckless use of poisons and the like. What's the worst that could happen? They could die? Too late. While not weaponized, the Pinata first made an appearance in the original World of Warcraft trading card game. While not the standard design, this Pinata being an ogre, it gave all the classes the potential to draw more cards. Weaponizing a Pinata is very in keeping with goblin design. It's fitted with a ton of weaponry and is kind of cutesy. Goblins have been known to use inflatable pool ponies to lure Naga children away to use them as leverage in some shady dealings. The effect of Demonic Project reminds me of the chaos that can be wrought by the Burning Legion. The army is not only capable of burning worlds down to the ground, but they are also capable of corrupting the life on those planets. Perhaps the best known case of this happening is the Eredar. Some were turned into hideous demonic abominations that would become known to others of their race as Manari. Those untouched by the demons became known as Draenei, meaning exiled ones in their own tongue. Unexpected Results has no lore connected to it. Perhaps the creature that most closely resembles those in the containers is a frenzy fish, piranha-like aquatic creatures that attack anything they can sink their teeth into. Since the expansion is in Netherstorm, the beasts to most closely resemble the art of this card are the Nether Beasts. Similar in appearance to mana worms. Perhaps they too are made of the chaotic energies of Netherstorm, and that's why they are being experimented on, ending up with unexpected results. Lab assistants are more commonly Forsaken, concocting various poisons, or goblins and gnomes tinkering with their various inventions. It's very rare to see a night elf inventor. In fact, I can think of none of note. Kangor's Endless Army reminds me of a spell given to paladins all the way back in Warcraft 3, the paladin hero unit's most powerful ability, Resurrect, bringing several units back to life to fight once again in a dire situation. Kangor's Endless Army is that, but with mechs. Screw those organic life forms. Dr. Boom is our main villain this expansion. The crazed inventor never saw the popularity he reached in Hearthstone in WoW. He was just a lowly quest objective for a throwaway quest in Netherstorm, a cheap pun on Marvel's Doctor Doom with none of the popularity. Who's more popular now, Doctor Doom? Huh? Probably still you. But Boom is now a beloved character to the point Hearthstone adopted him and gave him far better treatment with his own expansion. His mythos has been further expanded, now owning his own laboratory, the Great Boom Labs, and taking on many other scientists to research the chaotic wonders of Outland. He's also the main antagonist of the Enter Boom Labs miniseries, the Blizzard team narrowly escaping his clutches. So there we have it, some more lore summaries on cards for the Boomsday project. We know what all the cards are now, and I can tell you there isn't too much that relates back to Warcraft lore. Hearthstone appear to be creating more their own stories now, which leaves many of the cards with no lore. So I could go through the Boomsday cards, or I could get back to working on my giant dragon episode. I'd like to know what you think, because I'm edging more towards dragons, as I'm really passionate about that. Would mean the channel was dead for quite some time before hours of content being brought your way. Plus it's dragons. Who doesn't like dragons? Is my preference obvious yet? Either way, thank you so much for watching, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time for more Lore of the Cards.